Yo, what is the deal, everybody? What is the deal, everybody? Welcome to another Raider Nation Unlimited. I'm your man, Wasted Talent. Salute to everybody in the chat. It is 5 p.m. on the East Coast. It is, for what I understand, 2 on the West Coast. And, there's a beautiful afternoon. And, I was sitting around earlier today. I said, man, it's been a while since we've gone live. I was thinking, man, it's just so much Raider news. We've been covering it with, a lot of the pre-recorded videos and stuff like that. But it's time to get back to the live format, everybody. And we're gonna have a lot of that coming very, very soon as well, right? Got a new format we're gonna be launching. Graphic and myself have something that we got cooking up as well. And it is going to be a very, very eventful season this year, everybody. But hey, man, listen, hopefully all you guys are out there. You guys are ready to hear, the very best in Raider content. But salute to everybody in the chat, man. Salute to my guy, Ayo Anthony. JME Boy 87. What is the deal? Raider Loso's in the place, man. My guy. Mon Dizzy is in the place. Oh, my God. Jack Gusta Fiesti is in the place. CGR is in the place, man. The mod extraordinaire 87 Nada is in the place, man. Bodega High Stakes Raider is in the place, man. Just the pit boss of the gulags himself. We got almost 70 in the room. Get wasted with your brother, Wasted. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Share this thing out to all social medias. The great and powerful Demokes is in the place, man. Hug Dizzle is in the place. Share this thing out. Look, guys, Bob Standard is in the place, man. Now, you guys know we do not cook unless there is 100 in the room, man. But look, Jonathan Lamelli's in the place, man. Where you been, John? How you doing, bro? So look, man, let's get into some of the things in the news cycle. It's not a whole lot going on, but there are some things that we do need to talk about. Now, I know you guys saw in the infographic, you saw exactly the Max Crosby situation. It's not really a situation, guys. We're going to talk about that. I just feel like, a part of this for me is one, it's something that we got to bring up because it's in the national media. But also, two, I also have to let you guys know that this stream is powered by Prize Picks. Now, Prize Picks is the very, very, very best when you start talking about watching sports on national television during the World Cup. Prize Picks is the very best when it comes to that. And guess what? When you use $5, you get $50 instantly in lineups when you use code HMA. The link is in the chat and it is also in the description, ladies and gents. This stream is brought to you by Prize Picks, and I might give you guys a little glimpse into what I'm thinking about doing for this World Cup because I am learning more and more about the World Cup. Man. Oh, my God. A salute to everybody in the chat, man. And shout out to our proud sponsor, Prize Picks, everybody. But let's get back to the biz-naive. Let's get back to the business. So look, man, we're gonna talk about the Max Crosby thing first, right? Guys, listen. When anything happens with Max Crosby, right? After everything that has gone on this offseason, it is very, very, very easy for people to take baloney and throw it against the wall and see if it sticks. Right? There is there's a lack of integrity nowadays, right? Because we live in a world where we want everything now. We live in a world where social media reigns supreme. We live in the world of the no longer 24-hour news cycle. It is the 35-second news cycle. Anything happens, it goes from one end of the world to the next in a matter of veritable seconds, right? And now you have people that look at every little thing a young man who is not even 30 years old tweets. This is a guy who is famous and he understands the gravity of social media. I'm sure he does. Sure he does. But in the same token, it is very, very difficult for you as a man to be on and think about every little thing. So anything that Max Crosby tweets, anything that Max Crosby says, where it is a little, just anything. If it's anything and people can write a story about it, they will. And guys, I'm here to let you know something. The tweet that they were speaking about is not that cryptic, man. It really isn't. It really isn't, right? But look, there are rumors, that Max Crosby could be going to the 49ers, right? And there are rumors that he could be going to not Los Angeles, but there's a lot of rumors out there, right? And he tweeted something, and I gotta find the tweet. I gotta find the tweet for you guys. I have to find the tweet. They got Max going to the Bears, but what happened was Crosby just simply stated in all caps, stop people pleasing, handle business accordingly. He posted that message Thursday night, and immediately, everybody around the world set off trade buzz, right? Bleacher Report's Paul Caspian, try to interpret the tweet as expressing dissatisfaction with the Raiders organization, which had tried to trade him away 3 months earlier. And look, this is somebody that, if we're being honest, right, does not know anything about the Raiders, the organization, or Max Crosby. It's veritably just to me, it's just bad. It is really, really it's just bad journalism, man. People act like the Raiders went out on a limb and tried to just trade Max. Max was the one who wanted that to happen. Max was the one who wanted that to happen, guys. Like, let's stop with the bull crap. He's the one who wanted that, and really, I'm speaking about this because I think that, even myself, right? I would like to think I have a pretty decent size audience, right? And I have a pretty decent foothold in in disseminating what goes on in Raider Nation, right? I even hate speaking about it because there are two things for me. One, and guys, I'm sorry, it wasn't the Wi-Fi. I was running something. I was running a program in the background, and it started making me freeze up like a stripper. I'm sorry, y'all. We good to go? Thank you. But look, the one thing is this. For me, when it comes to anything that has to do with Max Crosby, I, as a lot of you, are open to it. I'm open. If he plays, great. If he doesn't and they trade him, hopefully they get enough for him. But at this point, I really, 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 really don't give a damn. Seriously, because look, Max has been a great Raider. He really has. Right. But if it will be, if it is the Lord's will that man will get traded, it is just what it's going to be. I'm tired of thinking about it. I'm tired of flipping and bouncing the idea around in my head. I like the fact that he's on this roster this year. I really do, because of the people that they brought in. But I don't really think that the business of football ever stops. It never stops. You just never know what's going to happen in the National Football League. You just don't know. You don't know, because guess what? Things are worth what they're worth based off of what's offered to you. So listen, people say, oh, hey, the Raiders, they will never think. Listen, they'll think about it if 2 first-round picks are offered. They'll think about it if they get a young player. Like, it is what it is. But who's to say that's happening right now? The only thing we know is that he's a Raider. He's in silver and black. And people out there need to get a little credibility here. They need to get a little, to me, integrity here. Because the guy tweets something like that out, and then automatically you assume he has a problem with the Raiders. Maybe he has something personal in his life he wants to get off his chest. Maybe the man just had that proclamation. He just wanted to tweet it out, just like some of us do. It's just really, really weak. Like every other week. Oh, it's a cryptic message. He wants to be sent to the Bears. Oh, it's a cryptic message. Max Crosby wants to be traded to the Los Angeles Lakers to be the power forward. What are we doing here, y'all? What are we doing here? There is nothing, and all of this started, if we're being honest, all of this started because of one reporter who is in the peanut gallery every single day. And I don't really like to call people out because that's not my twist. I don't like to be messy, but I just got to be honest and transparent. This all started with a Hondo article, and we know how much credibility that has. We all know how much credibility it has. There are a lot of guys in Raider Nation that do a hell of a lot of good writing. They leak stories. They get to the bottom of things, you know. And I'm gonna call some of the guys out by name. Levi Edwards is excellent. Levi Edwards is excellent, man. You know, Hondo is excellent. Sam Warren is excellent, bro. These guys are excellent at what they do. Vinny B is excellent. Vinny B is excellent what he does. Ryan McFadden is excellent, bro. Excellent. These guys do terrific work, and they're not just throwing baloney against the wall to see if it sticks. And, yo, we got a 49ers fan in the audience right now. Some of their fans do not even want Max. And look, bro, if they do, they do. Look, the GMs and the agents and people like they're the ones who decide all this stuff. We don't decide this. We can say what we want, but at the end of the day, the guys that get paid the big bucks do it. But what I will say is this, man. Anytime you see an article from a guy that just writes things from prism of complete just bogus shit, like, you know, writing, and I spoke about this before, you know, going back 3 coaches ago and writing an expose on a coach. Who cares? Bro, like I saw the article with Jonathan Abram, right? He was expressing, you know, that tweet when he was talking about, you know, Josh McDaniels. At this point, why do we care about anything that happened in the Josh McDaniels era? We are on our 3rd head coach since that, man. We don't care. I know I don't. I'm speaking for me, bro. This is personal. I don't care about Josh McDaniels. I don't care. It has no bearing. Most of the people on that team are gone, bro. This is a whole new organization. This is a whole new program. And it is a very good program that needs to be derailed by nonsense, right? So when it comes to the Max Crosby stuff, bro, this is all bullshit. It's just stuff that guys write because they know that the Raiders and our fan base is rabid. They know that our fan base is waiting to win. They know that the most polarizing guy on our team really has been Max because he's been the most viable guy on our team. He's played terrific throughout his career, right? And he's a great Raider. He'll go down as a great Raider no matter what happens. The trade was what it was. It was what it was, and it didn't happen. And now he's here. And that's all we can deal with. So, guys, what I want you to do is this, man. No more. No more. Nation, listen to me. You can hear the sound of my voice. These Crosby trade rumors, who cares? Talking bad about Josh McDaniel, who cares? That's Antonio Pierce has been here since then, bruh. Pete Carroll, You know, now Clint Kubiak's our coach. Dog, it don't matter. It don't matter. It don't matter. It really don't. And guys, salute to this effing bum who just came into my stream. This is the worst stream I've ever seen. Be more entertaining. You know what will be more entertaining? And I'm glad you came here, right? If you want entertainment, you fucking bum, let me give you some entertainment. Because listen, there's not over 200 people in the room here because I'm not entertaining. I am one of the preeminent streamers in Raider Nation, you fucking bum. And you're just a troll, and you're probably somebody who's sitting in your basement wishing, I wish that people would watch me. Please, somebody, anybody watch my stream. Just somebody comment on my Instagram or my Twitter, or I wish someone cared about me enough to watch my stream with my little anime avatar. Maybe if I go in there and troll Wasted Talent, he might acknowledge me. Maybe, just maybe, huh?
Fucking gorilla looking smelly bitch. Motherfucker, you got me fucked up. You
know what? I'm just that petty. I am going to acknowledge your bum ass. You want to get entertained? To the gulags you go, you fucking bum. So, blocked forever. Forever. Woo! Thank you for adding some entertainment value. I mean, it just isn't a show unless Wasted Talent sends somebody to the gulags, but give them the death penalty to the gulags. You shall never dawn my doors again, you effing bum. I mean, it's just crazy. You got some dude who's probably tipping the scales at 285 pounds in his mama's basement, reading old Hustler magazines, just bloviating about how he wants to be seen. And now you've been seen. You, my friend, have just been blessed by the great and powerful Wasted Talent. Enjoy yourself. Are you not entertained? Thank you, Grab. Grab us in the place. You ask for entertainment, you become the entertainment, everyone. The gulags is calling. Where's the Mokes at? Listen, guys, but in the same, but let's get back to the football, right? And I appreciate that too. Thank you, whoever you are, you miserable bum. Yeah, yo, you know what? It just might be. It might be the ghost of Uncle Sour Socks. But getting back to it, guys, listen. We're not bringing up this Max shit anymore. Unless there's a real trade imminent and like, you know what I'm saying? Like, or it happens. We're not doing this again. We're not doing this again, bro. Like, because look, man, this is the thing that I have an issue with. I do not like the fact that writers that do not have integrity use our fan base for engagement and not adding value. Like, add some value, bro. Add some value. Entertain us. Give us some information. That's what we're asking for, bro. This is what we're asking for. We're not asking for any, we're just asking for you to be honest. We're asking for you to have some integrity. We're asking for you to go out there and to write things and to bring things to Raider Nation that's thought-provoking to get us through our day, right into the season, because the season, you know, it's a couple weeks away. Not the season, but, you know, even training camp is a couple weeks away. You know, this is a very, very, this is the doldrums of the off season right now. Guys are on vacation and it's not a whole lot to grasp to, but bro, it's exhausting. It is exhausting, bro. It's exhausting. And there's a lot of stuff to where even myself, I'm like, damn, I don't even want to talk about this, but you almost have to. You almost have to, right? You almost have to. And to me, it's good to have some of these conversations with you guys, right? We're all Raider fans. We're hyped up. You know, me, I'm to like even another level because I just watched, you know, one of my teams go all the way. And I'm like, damn, I'm hyped. Now I want my Raiders to go away. Let's go. Let's go. It's possible. I want my Raiders to go all the way now. And now all I want to hear is about things that are positive building blocks to getting to that point. That's all I want to hear about. That's all I want to hear about, man. And look, I want to see Kwity Paye go off too, the way he did in that charity softball game. My man had 7 RBIs, man. I mean, Kwity, hey man, listen, bro. Hopefully you could transport your powers from the game over onto the field, my brother. My God, man. My God. And yo, listen, Matthew Faithful is in a place. He is a 49er fan, from what I understand. He says, at least y'all ain't dealing with the Brandon Ayuk situation. Man, I can't wait for the drama to be over with. Bro, I'm so glad that we're not dealing with that, bro. And listen, we've had our share of drama here in Raider Nation too, guys. We've had our share. We've had it, bro. Now it's y'all turn. Now you guys got the Malik, right? Look, the Brandon Ayuk thing, and I'm going to speak on this, right? This has nothing to do with the Raiders, right? But there are a lot of people who are like, oh, we should go bring Brandon Ayuk. Look, when you get hit in the head for a living, yo, there's a collateral damage to that. There's something wrong with Brandon Ayuk right now. And I don't like to be the dime store therapist or diagnosing somebody digitally, but it seems to be something wrong with that young man. And I hope he gets the help he needs. There's something that's off there. And it really it's frightening because it reminds me a lot of Antonio Brown. It's frightening, bro. It's sad, man. My dog, Hug D's with the $10 slappy. Let's keep it real. This is the scary season. This is when fools get found drunk, passed out in their car, or decided to punch somebody. The quieter, the better right now. If this is news, we good. Raider Nation for life. Hug, and yo, I am 100% on the same sheet of music as you, Hug. 100%, man. We don't need any Charles Snowden stuff happening. We don't need any nonsense, right? You know, my father used to say, you know, idle time is the devil's playground. And we got to get that F up out of here. We don't need that. We do not need any of that crap, man. But no, definitely, yo. But yo, we've had a lot of wide receiver drama. We're over that, bro. We're over that. We are on the bigger and better. And guess what? You know where else on? We're on to the next story now. Look, they had the power rankings, bro. And Pete Prisco does his top 100. And look, I'm gonna be real with you guys. I spoke about this. You know, Tyler Linderbaum, you know, was brought up, and you know, he dropped several spots. And this is something I also wanted to touch on, right? Pause if necessary. You know, Tyler Linderbaum is a guy that, you know, in 2024 had a 79.9 overall grade. 2025, he had a 79.8 overall grade, essentially identical, right? He had an 85.3 pass blocking grade, an 83.2, still elite, right? 64.9 run blocking grade, 63.4, you know, almost identical numbers, right? And, you know, Pete Prisco dropped Tyler Linderbaum. Now, what does it really matter? It's a ranking that is somebody's opinion. It doesn't matter. And I understand the fact that there are other players that have ascended. There are newer players that join the list. There are a lot of different variables with this list, right? But the reason why, to me, it raised an eyebrow, and I wanted to get y'all opinion about this. Now, I made a short video about this, but I wanted to get you guys' opinion live about this. This is some of the stuff that we do during the off season, right? We talk about and break things down to a fine pace, right? When I see things like this, it just is a common theme every time the Raiders bring in a big free agent. Salute to my guy, Rudy the Vet Russo, in a place to be. Anytime the Raiders, and this is just my personal opinion, you guys let me know if I'm tweaking, right? Every time the Raiders bring in a big-time free agent, they go from being coveted by every other team and people saying that they are, you know, one of the preeminent players at their position and Then the first day of the trade, what a great move. Nobody would have ever thought the Raiders would have pulled this off and all this other stuff. And then a month, 2, 3 later, right? Now all of a sudden, he's just not as good of a player. Right. And I remember this when we brought in Devontae Adams. And it's just every time the Raiders bring somebody in, the national media gets a hold of a narrative to where they're not as good of a player. And then magically when they leave, they become a great player again. Right. And I know the Raiders, this is really on the Raiders, right? This is not, we always talk about the hate, we cry about it, we complain about it and stuff like that. And it's cool to talk about. But at the end of the day, the only thing and the only elixir for any of this kind of nonsense is winning. Right. Like the Raiders are fully complicit in their lack of respect in the media. Right. And this year, hopefully it changes and it turns around. Like, winning on the field cures all ills. Like they say they hate us, right? But there's nothing really to hate, right? Like we have not been good. We haven't been good. Now, there are a lot of people that are old school guys that don't like the Raiders. Guys like Pete Prisco. Pete Prisco is 150 years old. He probably remembers when we were a great team, right? But at the end of the day, man, the only thing that's going to cure all of this kind of nonsense is actually being successful on the field. Even this Max Crosby shit, like even like the dirt sheet kind of writing, right? The stuff that is written in a professional wrestling kind of a standpoint. Winning cures all. You get better production out of your writers. You get better things to talk about. Like, this is what we need, guys. And what I'm going to do is, and this is my beginning monologue, everybody. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about the business that pays us, and it's football, y'all. Yo, my guy Rorschach Raider, wasted talent. Hope all is well with you and yours. And that you are back in the end of your recovery. I am on the back end of my recovery, man. I appreciate you, bro. And you always gifting us with your presence, even though you're not being 100%. Rorschach, I appreciate you, my brother. Yeah, man, I'm on the mend, but yeah, I'm feeling better. I'm getting better. Doing a little physical therapy and stuff like that. But I'm good to go, man. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you, my brother. You're my guy, David Walker, man. Shout out to my brother, Wasted. F him. It's us versus the NFL. Yo, and you know what, man? There's a part of me that I kind of love that shit too, man. It's like, bring it on. I like wearing a black hat. Yeah, you know what? But you know what? To me, Matty Marinovich, right? The business in the front, party in the back. Even when we were winning, the hate is there, the criminal element. The 78 rule changes to stop the Raiders. But, bro, to me, I love that shit, bro. I love it. But we're being hated for actually doing something. Like I want us to get back to being hated for beating everybody. Like, bring that shit on. I love that. I don't mind wearing the black hat. I don't mind wearing the black hat, my brother. But look, guys, let's get into some ball, right? We had the Justin Jefferson stuff, right? And we reported on that. They wrote an article, CBS. They spoke about how Justin Jefferson, if the Vikings don't get it together, and this was written by Grant Podell, he thinks that Justin Jefferson, if things are not squared away at the quarterback position, because they brought in Kyler Murray, JJ McCarthy does not seem to be the one. They kind of pissed it, Justin Jefferson off. He started his career off with Kirk Cousins. They went out, they got Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold played out of his mind. They got rid of Sammy because of the fact that they brought Sammy in. He was supposed to be the backup. JJ got hurt. Then they were like, we're gonna go on ahead with the guy we drafted, JJ McCarthy. That did not work out, and they went out and got the former number 1 pick in Kyler Murray. Now, Kyler Murray is a phenomenal athlete, but I don't know if Kyler Murray is a guy who has been able to kind of make the connection between what it takes to be great in the NFL. Now, Kyler Murray is a guy who, even though was not born with height, he is a tremendous athlete. This guy was the number 1 pick in 2 sports, and he's kind of been able to get by with his athleticism in a sense. I don't necessarily know how well he's done. I heard that they had to have, clauses in his contract for him to study film, and just hearing, some of the stuff I've heard about Tom Brady, and some of the maniacal ways that he trained and stayed locked in, right? That's the bar. That's what's expected of you as an NFL quarterback, right? So if that doesn't change for Kyler Murray, I don't necessarily know if the fortunes of the Minnesota Vikings are going to change. Even though they're a wholly talented roster than Arizona is, we'll have to see. But if it's an up and down, if it's a roller coaster, if Jets isn't getting the ball and they're not winning, Garrett Podol thinks that he will ask for a trade in the 2028 offseason. And people talk about the Raiders being a landing spot because ding, 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 the Raiders are the team that everybody knows will get you engagement. But when you think about it, right, if you think about pairing Justin Jefferson with Brock and Genty, and this is if, and I think we will be on that trajectory with a young quarterback that is playing well and stuff like that. This will be a primo landing spot for an offensive skill position player, right? Because it's a guy who now, you know, is a nightmare for everybody. Who do you plan for? Who do you bracket? Like, who do you like? It's very hard to stop that, and it's something that, you know, is worth thinking about, right? Because the Raiders have done this before. We've gone out and got Antonio Brown. We've gotten, Randy Moss. So I can go over and over and over and over again. We went out and got, Devontae Adams. And when you start thinking about what it would take to get a player of Justin Jefferson's level, you think about the compensation that the Raiders gave Green Bay for a 29-year-old Devontae Adams. They gave up a first, and I would imagine like a third. And people are thinking that the Raiders might do something like that. Now, look, for me, I want to put a pin in this, right? Because I want to be respectful to the guys that are in the building right now. There is a lot of talent in this building right now. There's a lot of talent. It's just not a lot of proven talent. And I think that we as fans need to sit back and let these guys develop the people that are in the building before we start bringing in superstar players. I think it's disrespectful to guys like Jack Besh, who's working his ass off right now. I think it's disrespectful to talk about, this when you have in a world where we got Dante Thornton in the building. He's working his ass off. This is his second year, and he has a hell of a lot of God-given ability, right? It's disrespectful to Malik Benson. It's disrespectful to Trey Tucker. I got Trey Taylor on the brain. Salute to Trey Taylor too, right? But I think it's a little disrespectful because these young guys are in there. They're working their asses off right now. And I'm telling you, Malik Benson, all these dudes, I think that this room, a lot of people in the league are saying that this is going to be a bottom third unit. I don't believe that, man. I don't believe with the assortment of coaches that we have, with, the quarterbacks that we have, with the offensive line getting better, and I believe that they will be better. And this is not coming from just a fan perspective. This is coming from a perspective of the fact that we can see what they've done. Look, they brought in one of the preeminent centers in the league. Right? They brought in, and brought back, the great Colton Miller. They brought back the great Colton Miller, man. Colton Miller is coming back, man. And even if Colton Miller is not, what he once was, what Colton Miller is a lot better than what we've had playing tackle. Now, we understand the injuries, right? The hairline fracture, the shoulder injury, and all of this other stuff, right? As you can see it, right? But this dude has been super durable before the 2025 season. He's one of the most durable offensive linemen in the league. He started 73 or 74 games from 2019 to 2024. And look, Colton Miller's injury was a setback, right? But the track record that Colton Miller has kind of shows you that Colton Miller is a guy that you can depend on. So just from those two players, you already know that this will be a better team. You have a better offensive line coach. You've gotten better from a personnel standpoint and from a coaching standpoint. So the results on the field should mirror that. And guess what? All of these things all weave together. All of them weave together. The offensive line, the coaching staff, and the young talent's ability to be developed and to develop. Because listen, Clint Kubiak, from what I understand, Kirk Cousins said that, and this is a 15-year veteran. He said, man, Clint Kubiak had the most productive OTA session that he's seen in his league. In this league. And I'm telling you right now, guys, look, there are a lot of power rankings out there. There's a lot of stuff going on out there, right? There's just all these little lists because it's the offseason. Like I said, everybody's got to earn a living, right? Everybody's got to earn their nut, so to speak. But what I'm going to tell you is this, right? You got to start using deductive reasoning and facts to behind how you're going to say who's who and what's what. Who's who and what's what. Now, there's some power rankings in the league, and there was an article by Bleacher Report by Brad Gagnon. It was a power rankings for NFL teams that can go from worst to first in 2026. And you had the Arizona Cardinals ranked 8th, right? They had the New York Jets, which I think is asinine. I think the New York Jets are gonna be they're gonna be participating in the Arch Manning Bowl or the CJ Carr Bowl. Now they speak about the Raiders, right? And I wanted to bring this up. They said why they can't Kirk Cousins and Fernando Mendoza can give new energy at quarterback. The offensive line has a high ceiling. Ashton Genty could join Brock Bowers as a star, and the defense isn't a complete lost cause. The Chiefs are in a tough spot. The Chargers have yet to prove they can grab the division by the reins, and anything could happen with the Broncos and their young quarterback coming off of a surgery. The transition at quarterback could still cause problems, especially considering a lack of accomplished wide receiver talent. Now, this is what they spoke about, and this is what we're talking about now. So, guys, let's stay on track here, right? The line's floor is also low, right? And the D doesn't look considerably better. Yo, listen, hold up. You got to chill, bro. This guy's got to chill, man. I hate to be immature, but said that, is one that was ranked 25th in points allowed in 2025. Kansas City could also bounce back. Denver and Los Angeles look stronger than ever. More support from the franchise. Quarterbacks are prediction a team that has won a total of 7 games the last 2 seasons improves, but still finds itself with a handful of victories and a 4th place finish. Now, to me, right, I don't agree. I don't agree. I believe that the Raiders defense got a hell of a lot better, right? And Nakobe Dean is a huge reason for that. Nakobe Dean, listen to me. Nakobe Dean and Quay Walker together is going to feed families. And I'm going to tell you why. At every level of defense, we got better play. You got Traden Stukes and Johnson. Jeremy Chin is still a big part of this defense. He was not used correctly last year. He will be this year. Max Crosby is in a prove-it year. He's healthier than he's been in a very, very long time. Malcolm Kuntz is healthier this year. I believe that this defense is going to definitely be at least, and you listen, mark it down, write it down, take a picture. I don't give a damn. The Raider defense is going to be a top 15 defense. Basement. I think this defense is going to surprise a lot of people. Now, where we have gaps is on the outside. And I think the influx of young talent that has been brought in, like Zeke Massis, Jamal McCoy, Darian Porter coming into his 2nd year, Eric Stokes coming in healthy, is going to be what really elevates this team. That linebacker core, I think it might be the best collective of talent is from a positional group that we have on this team. But I think this defense is going to be, at the very minimum, a middle-of-the-road defense, especially if Max plays at the level that he's played with Kwity Paye and all these guys. Dude, these guys can play. They didn't go out there and get a bunch of guys that we're trying to figure out can play. They went out there and got guys that can ball. Look, let's not just glaze over that. And this is what happens when you guys have people writing things about a team that they know nothing about. And that's the reason why I'm here, y'all. Seriously, man. Seriously. And it's just, listen, man. The defense is probably going to be our greatest strength this year. My guy Snoop Hernandez. 23.99. Max needs to start being a game changer. Bro. Look, man. Max Crosby is a game changer. You can't say he's not. You know, I just believe that it's really hard to be disruptive when you don't have the prerequisite pieces around you to get some of the attention off of you some damn time. And I think he has that now. I think, you know, a guy like Nakobe Dean, that is a hell of a pass rusher from the linebacker position. Having Kwity Paye, a guy that has a great pressure rate. Now, when we start talking about Kwity Paye, that was a move that, you know, a lot of us, man, did not really make a big enough of a deal about. You know, Kwity Paye is a guy who, you know, if we're talking about pass rush, right? You know, great run defender. Great run defender, very, very good. 2025, he had 38 pressures, 4 sacks, 20 solo tackles with his final year with the Colts. And, you know, he is very, very athletic. He's a streaky pass rusher. And, you know, he has yet to post more than 8.5 sacks in a single season, but he consistently provides solid run stopping value. And I believe that Kwity Paye is a guy who can be developed by playing next to a guy that is dynamic as Max Crosby. And also having a situation where he is going to have a guy who has that first step, you know, that has that explosion off the edge in Malcolm Kuntz, right? And then also Kieron Coleman is a young fella, man, that I can't wait to see that kid out there. I think this Raider defense and his pass rush is going to be a little different because they have options now. They got options now. You know? And this the thing, you know, the Raiders last year, and my guy Roba is absolutely right, man. You know, this team did pretty good last year. It's just that they were on the field like just too much. I don't think that's going to be the case this year, because if you get a terrific run game going with Mike Washington Jr. and Ashton Genty, then now you have a situation where, they're going to be able to sustain drives. Sustaining drives on the offensive side of the football has everything to do with how well a defense can do. Just get a breather every now and again. Dark side, my guy, man. Stokes, McCoy, Chin, Powell, Dalton Johnson, Zeke Masters, etc. Linebacker room. Wasted is on point here, guys. I appreciate it, man. Sometimes you need to hear that. My guy, Jordy Robinson, the R&B singing extraordinaire. Sometimes I want to pop out for our brother Wasted, but we can't give him. Jordy, pop out, brother. You can give. Why can't you give memberships? I appreciate you doing it if you can. I don't know what's going on with that, but pop out, my brother. Appreciate you. I mean, let the memberships rain down on the Wasted Talent Army. Yeah, Jordy, I have no idea, bro. I don't know. And Hug D's is a family show. You talk about keep your pen. Hug D's is up here trying. Look, you guys, look. Let me take a little break here. You guys know what time it is. Can I listen? Will you guys give me a chance to stop talking ball for a second and talk about this bum Hug D's? Now, if you guys don't know who Hug D's is the Mod Father extraordinaire, one of the original Mod Fathers. He is the man that Geno Smith gave the finger to this season. Hug D's is a veritable goat in the Raider streets, right? This is my problem with Hug D's. Hug D's has been on a fitness journey, and it is commendable. He's gotten in shape. You know, he went from looking like an Ewok, and now he thinks he's beefcake now. And listen, Hug D's, man, you got to stop, man. You got to stop with it. You got to stop. You have got to stop. Oh, guys, look, we got another troll. We have another troll, everybody. At Raider Nation Unlimited. Can this guy please shut up? Yes, I can. But why would I? I mean, there's over 300 people in here watching the greatness, just like you are. I'm sure you're the same guy who I blocked before. But listen, man, remember, you still don't have any friends. You're still fat. No one likes you. And my friend, you, my friend, shall be banned forever. Oh my God. Bro, people understand something. Yo, please, please, bro, please, all you trolls, man. I just want to let you guys know something. Please, please, please continue to troll me. Please. Because it adds to the show. Tell me it's not the funniest thing. You're sitting up there on the keyboard with your heart beating. You come in here, and guess what winds up happening? Everybody, and then guess what else happened?
You're about to be unceremoniously blocked.
Yes. Of course that's what happened, you effing bum. Woo! Oh my God, Danny Caps Keenan gifted 5 Raider Nation Unlimited memberships to the masses. I appreciate you, man. Thank you, my brother. Oh my God, Caps is in a place to be. He is in a place to be, just making the Wasted Talent Army grow in droves. And guys, listen, if this is the best way to support the channel, man, going over there, man. Going over there, man. And listen, my opinion, I don't know how you can actually hate me either, man. I think I'm pretty effing awesome. I mean, my God. Nah, man, listen, bro. They don't hate me, man. They don't hate me, bro. They listen, man. Listen, when people troll, man, you gotta ask yourself something. I was just kidding around, bro. It takes a sad individual to sit there and watch somebody as great as I am. And the one thing you could say, instead of just being like, hey, man, this is a great show. Appreciate you, man. I would like to do this. Hey, man, maybe if I want to do a show, man, let me reach out to this guy and ask him, hey, man, what can I do? No, you choose to troll. And guess what? We welcome it all. Richard Lyon is in a place. Where the F you been, Rich? How you doing, my brother? But God, a lot of it is closet Raider fans, man. It is, man. It comes with the territory, bro. Listen, man. No sweat off my nuts. Tell you that. Oh, wait a minute. It's a family show. So, guys, let's get back into this stuff, man. Let's get back into this, man. Now, Nakobe Dean, is a guy that's coming in. I kind of got off track. We're gonna get back on track, and then we're gonna bring the train back into the train station right now. Dean signed a 3-year, $36 million deal with the Raiders this offseason, as you guys all know. And, he's coming over from a winning environment, bro. And one thing that I like that John Spytek has done is he's brought over guys that were winners, right? Like, when you bring over guys that come from losing football teams, it's not really the best, man, because there are reasons, like football teams, it's not just all talent. Like, it's not all just talent. The talent is a huge part of why people win and lose in sports. But there's also the human element, and there's also the element to where, teams and players have certain habits that kind of, the byproduct of their good habits are winning. The byproducts of their habits are winning, right? Like, I'm actually reading a book right now, right? It's by James Clear. It's called Atomic Habits. I'm reading this book right now. It's a great book, right? And it's something that I've been really, really trying to institute into my life, right? Tiny changes, you get remarkable results. And there are successful people use those things. They use those things and they bring that into the collective, right? And when you have guys that are in a groupthink mentality, such as the New York Knicks, right? I forgot to bring up too, guys. The New York Knicks are still NBA world champions. I'm sorry about if I forgot to say that we're still a world champions. But guys like Nakobe Dean that have won a Super Bowl, been on winning programs. It's good to have that in the building, to bring those habits into the building with these younger players, the Eichenbergs of the world, the Linderbaums of the world, these young guys who need to know what good looks like. Now, he's going to look to bring that production in, right? This is a guy who had a 61.7 overall PFF grade. He recorded 43 solo tackles. He generated 10 total pressures, 4 sacks, and he allowed a 88.8 passer rating when targeted in coverage. And he's dealt with some injuries. That wasn't his greatest year. He's had better years than that, right? But he spoke on NFL Network on June 26th. He talked about the impact he's seen from Crosby in Las Vegas, and he goes, the team looks to be very, very competitive in 26. He says he hasn't been there out on the field with us, but he's out there working, Dean said, and we see him working and rehabbing every day. His positive attitude is infectious. He says what's up to everybody. You can kind of see how he knows everybody. And with me coming in and not knowing anybody, I'm trying to learn everybody's name and be able to dap everybody up the way he does. Like I said, his positive energy is infectious. Even though he's not on the field, you can tell he really wants to win. He's ready to get it in, and I'm excited. And I can't wait to have him on the field with us. Now, Nakobe Dean is looking to help change the Raiders culture right along with Maxx Crosby. And I'm glad that Maxx has a running mate like this, right? And Dean is coming from an Eagles situation. And other free agents for winning organizations, right? Like you got Tyler Linderbaum that's coming from the Ravens. You got Quay Walker that's coming from the Green Bay Packers. And these guys are looking to change the culture. And this is what I mean when I say that winning begets winning, right? The Kobe Dean added, you bring guys and coaches from teams that have won and know how to win, and you build a culture. And you're trying to build a culture of winning. That's really the biggest thing. And we know that. And at the end of the day, the only thing that matters in the NFL is winning games. And that's what we are trying to do. And guys, this is what I'm talking about. Now, Nakobe Dean is telling you right now, salute everybody in the chat that's still with me. Over 300 of you guys, man. Over 300 of you guys, man. Listen, and getting back to Nakobe Dean, there's some people that are asking me in the chat, and I'm going to respond. You guys are saying, is Nakobe Dean nothing to worry about? Guys, we're the Raiders. There's always something to worry about. If I'm being honest, what can happen will happen. And, I remember, people telling me that, Antonio Brown's cryogenically burnt feet weren't a problem. And, people telling me that Christian Wilkins' situation wasn't going to be a problem and he'd be back. I'm not going to sit up here and tell you that his injury is nothing to worry about. Until he's out there suiting up and playing, to me, it's something to worry about. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I know you guys want me to spin a narrative that is. I know you guys want me to spin a narrative that's more positive, but I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't until he's on the field. If I'm being honest, until he's on the field, man, we don't know. We don't know. And I'm hoping that this is something that ends in training camp. I hope as soon as training camp starts, he's out there. I'm praying. But you're right. Nakobe Dean has had a very, very sordid injury history, right? And it's not something that we can just overlook. It's not something that we can, overlook, man. Nakobe Dean has been a guy that, has been injured even when he was at Georgia, right? Now, he's primarily dealt with a severe, knee and foot injuries throughout his NFL career. And his most significant setback was a torn patella tendon in his left knee during the playoffs. And it caused him to miss the end of the season and the start of the following year that year. In 2025, he tore his left patella tendon in the NFC wildcard game, and it required major surgery. And it might force him to miss, the first several games. He had a hamstring. He missed time late in the season. In 2023, he dealt with multiple foot injuries. He had a severe Liz Frank sprain to his right foot, and that injury occurred week 1, and it caused him to spend 2 separate stints on IR, effectively ending his season. So Nakobe Dean is a guy who has dealt with some things, man. And, right now, if I'm going through an online model, his chance of injury is at 36%. That he misses at least 2 quarters, right? And 2.6% injury that he might miss, 1 game in that 17-game season. His projected games missed in 2026 is 1.2. And his durability is a 2.80, 2.08. 5 being the most durable. So this is an injury predictor that is used by Sports Injury Predictor. The Kobe Dean is a guy that, like I said, man, 2022 had a torn pec. He was a third rounder, that year, 83rd overall. 2023 IR, avoided surgery, pedal foot. 2023 Liz Frank, right, torn patella. So this is a guy who missed 5 games one year. He missed 8 games. Well, he missed 12 games in 2023, and the pec wasn't something that he missed time with. So look, it is a real phenomenon. It's a real phenomenon. Like, I'm not going to sit up here and lie to you guys. It is. And until he's on the field, I am not going to feel solidified in him being here. If I'm being honest, I pray that it's nothing, but some of the, and the Raiders don't owe us anything. They don't owe the media anything because the season is not going on. It's nobody's business but him and the organization. But the good thing, if you want me to give you a glass half full way to look at this, is that he is in the building. He's rehabbing. He's interviewing. There's been no major stories that have come out about his injury. And it might be just something to where he's trying to get back to 100% now. He's working through it, and that's a good thing. It's a great thing. Now, look, this is the thing. Now, when you start talking about Jamal McCoy, I think Jamal McCoy is ready. Jamal McCoy is a guy who is being, handled with kid gloves. There is a plan that they have in place for him because he does have a really unique situation with his knee. So the Raiders definitely have to, especially now when it's no live bullets, there's nothing to be gained. There's nothing to be gained by Jamal McCoy being out there and competing every day. It's like a load management kind of thing. And I think it's a very smart thing. I think Jamal McCoy will be ready for week 1. And if they don't handle him in this manner, he might not be. Right now, when you talk about Max, we know Max has had an injury. We knew Max was traded, and Max is in a time now where I think Max will be fine. I think Max week 1 is going to be out there. He will be playing. He's, I just think that now that you have, Alex Guerrero in the place, and you have, a different management in place. You have different people that are in place. I really think that this Raider medical staff errs on the side of caution when there's nothing to be gained to having these guys out there. They err on the side of physical therapy and getting guys ready to roll. I don't think that we're going to have a situation where all 3 of those guys won't be available and ready for us. And salute to my guy Alpha Omega. Yeah, man. Yeah, Boots look great, man. Now I got to see him fight somebody. Nah, Boots look great, man. Yeah, I was tapped in with all the boxing action yesterday too, man. But salute, guys. And listen, hug these. Says wasted say phenomenon again. Get the F up out of here with your crap. Hug these. Hug these. Listen to me, man. I know you're a mod father, and I don't give a damn. But I'm gonna tell you something, man. Don't you come in here with your crap. Hug these. This is the off season, and you will be sent to the gulags for the last 5 minutes of this damn show. Hug these. Now enjoy yourself, you bug. Oh man. Said Max is not a Raider player, he is an employee. They're all employees. What are you talking about? I don't have anybody in the World Cup. I don't have anybody in the World Cup. I would be a fraud to sit up here and share my limited knowledge on the World Cup with you guys. I very, very, a lot of the stuff that I know about the World Cup is really from my daughter. My daughter is way into the World Cup. My daughter really has my daughter was the one that's kind of put me up on some of this stuff. She's been explaining the game to me and stuff. My youngest daughter is really into the World Cup. But they started out the summer with 48. Now they're down to 32. And we're gonna see what's gonna go on with this. But yeah, my daughter's like really into this, man. Really into it, man. I'm trying to get into it. The thing, it's an exciting sport, but it's just a lot, man. It's a lot when you don't really know. You know what I mean? Like you don't really like. I don't know the nuance. Like I know the rules, but I don't know the nuance to the World Cup. Like I don't know. Every sport has nuance, right? It's hard for me to gauge how to watch because I need to know the strategy because I didn't play soccer and stuff growing up. Like even though it, soccer, football, right, is something that is really the world sport, man. It is really the world sport, man. Like when you see how those fans, bro, when you see the way these fans are great. Like, bro, did you see them in Kansas City taking their stadium over? Did you see them in New York? Like, bro, even in like Jersey and stuff, and like they got all the fans from like Brazil down neck and Portugal, bro. That like, man, when you talk about fanaticism from a sport, man, there's nothing like that. There's just nothing like it. It's just, for me, it's not really my cup of tea. But I'm trying to give it another once over in a sense. Trying to, man. Trying to. I heard the USA is doing pretty well. Heard the USA's doing really well. Some people are saying that France can take it. My daughter's texting me right now. My daughter says to me that France and Spain are heavily back to go all the way. She said dark horses are Ecuador. Japan could go for a deep run. So, yo, man, and this is the cool thing about all of that, right? The cool thing about all of that is that you can go on over the prize picks, guys. Going over the prize picks if you so choose to. And if you are a person who was into the World Cup, you can go over there, man, and you can check out all of the World Cup drama right over on Prize Picks, man. The app is real easy to use. Just pick more or less on a few player stats, lock them in, your lineup, and boom, there you get to rolling, man. Look, you can go either more or less, and you can roll with it, man. But Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. It is available in most states. California, Texas, Florida. And you can follow me on the app at Wasted Talent Raiders to see all my lineups. If you're new, use $5, get $50 instantly in lineups. Use code HMA. The link is in the description, man. Drop your picks below, see what you got, and see if your picks have the gout. And Mark Salter, yes, it was a terrific segue, wasn't it? Man, this is a master at work. Salute to Raiders Central. Salute everybody in here, man. That's right, man. That's right. But guys, listen, this has been a terrific show, man. I mean, if you guys are entertained, I'm glad. I'm happy. If you guys got anything to talk about, drop it in the chat. We'll stay for a couple more minutes. But if not, I think it's about time to put the train back into the train station, guys. Train back. Yo, Raider Loso says, bring back Panama. We got cheated. I'm glad if listen, if it had anything to do with Raider Loso having any pain, I am 100% into the fact that his team lost. The F up out of here. And Dan Tessio is a cornhole. But guys, listen, man. Doing Raider stuff on a Sunday, man. There's not going to be many more Sundays where there's not Raider ball, guys. Dan Tessier, CGR, Jamba Juice, Dark Side Nation, Mod Dizzy, all you guys. Peace. I think it's time to roll the train back in the train station. I hope you guys were entertained. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, man. I appreciate every single one of you guys. But I'm gonna be, it's a slow media cycle, but it's always something to talk about. But we're gonna wheel a train back out of here. And listen, man, what we got to start doing is we have to bring back the wasted word of the day, guys. We got to do it. I haven't done it in so long, and I kind of forgot about it. But the wasted word of the day, quintessential, representing the most perfect or typical example of a quality or class. The wasted word of the day is quintessential. And this is the quintessential version of the great and powerful wasted talent, guys. Guys, listen. We're going to be out of here. Salute to every single one of you guys. But it's time to go, y'all. Time to go, man. Peace.